Good day, Misamis Occidental. Welcome sa atong 9th episode sa Let's Talk Miss Oc for 2023, our Italakayan and Media Forum for Misamis Occidental. Let's Talk Miss Oc is a venue where we will discuss anything and everything about Misamis Occidental. I am Jam Rukat for Let's Talk Miss Oc. This is a special episode because it is face-to-face and we have our media friends din here sa probinsya. We are so thankful. And of course, spearheaded by the Department of Trade and Industry Misamis Occidental. For the entire month of October, we are celebrating Consumer Welfare Month. Unsa ang mga activities na giset sa DTI for the month of October this year? When we say consumer welfare, unsa atong mga benefits as consumers and atong mga katungod? This year is more ang tema is more on sustainability. How can we translate sustainability sa atong pang-adlaw-adlaw nga kinabuhi as consumers? Can we practice sustainability? Unsa ang mga pamaagi niini? Let me introduce our guests. We have, of course, the Provincial Director of DTI Misamis Occidental, Provincial Director Luz Galda. Kauban po nato ang Consumer Protection Division Head, Marites Alcampado. And of course, we have the Environmental Sustainability Officer sa LaSalle University. We have Engineer Ismael Larubi. Okay, by the way, we are live sa atong FB page, PIA Misamis Occidental. Alright, so let's start already. So let's go to PD Luz. PD, we are celebrating Consumer Welfare Month for the whole month of October. Unsa ang specific tema for this year? And what is the relevance of this theme sa atong mga consumers?
Okay, maayong hapon kanatong tanan. First of all, sa dili pa ko mo answer, Jam, no? Our sincerest gratitude to Mayor Indy Waminal and our very hardworking Governor Attorney Henry Sevilla Waminal for allowing us to conduct this activity today and for their full support for the celebration of the Consumer Welfare Month. Now, ang atong tema for this Consumer Welfare Month is Generation S, Generation Sustainable. This is actually the sub-theme of the 7 R's of sustainability adapted from the Consumers International and other organizations, which are the the 7 R's, rethink, refuse, reuse, reduce, recycle, repurpose, and repair. Now, unsa ka-importante ang sustainability sa atong mga consumers? Now, the consumers are it's very important ang consumer, they play a very crucial role in driving sustainability outcomes. With every purchase, ang ilang pagpalit, individuals have the power to make a positive impact on the environment, the society, and the economy. So by choosing products and services that are environmentally friendly, socially responsible, and economically viable, consumers can create a more sustainable future.
All right, thank you for that, Ma'am Luz. You mentioned about buying products, Ma'am Luz. There are so many products in the market. All are very attractive. Guwapo kaayo no ang mga packaging. What should consumers choose in order to be a responsible consumer? And what does it mean to have a sustainable lifestyle? Will my choice of products to consume have an impact on sustainability?
Okay, as a consumer, you start in the purchasing decision. Now, there are some ways that consumers can drive sustainability outcomes. One is you can choose or mamili ka products with minimal environmental impact. Example, you choose a product made of recycled materials such as paper or pwede ang plastic basta recyclable na siya, no, dili single use. Then this reduces demand for new materials and helps to conserve the natural resources, and similarly, choosing products with minimal packaging reduces waste and helps to reduce pollution. Another is you can support companies with sustainable practices. And then another one is to buy locally. No, you can help the micro, small, and medium enterprises in our locality, no? Ang ilang giproduce ato ang i-patronize. And then also you can choose products with a long lifespan. Dili ta magsigig pamalit ang mga short span ang life nga ang mahitabo mo paingon ra gyapon sa landfill ang atong waste materials. And then of course, look for certifications like for example Forest Stewardship Council or FSC, dili pa kay ni siya popular in the Philippines but in other countries ginatanaw na ni nila, no, nga kani siya mag-indicate nga ang product has been produced in a sustainable manner. And the last one maybe that I can suggest is vote with your wallet. That means you as consumers can use the purchasing power to support companies and products that align with their values by choosing that are environmentally, socially responsible. Consumers can send a message to companies that sustainability matters and encourage them to adopt a more sustainable practices.
Okay, thank you for that. Thank you for that, PD Luz. So, importante gid kayo nga, kita as consumers, we select what we buy, dili lang kay what's the trend. We have to think about our environment.
Yes, Jam.
Okay. Ma'am, why is sustainability of all the pwede nga matopic for the theme for this year, no? Why is sustainability being highlighted for this year's celebration of Consumer Welfare Month?
With the climate changes and the calamities that we experience, it's very important also to educate and to make the consumers aware that sustainability matters in our society now. Remember that sustainability is the ability to meet the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. So at present, we have to educate the consumers that we have to be responsible consumers and that we choose sustainable products when we consume.
Last one before I go to Engineer Ismael. And of course, the media will have their time later on to ask questions. What is the big role of consumers to attain this generation sustainability? And is this targeted, kini nga campaign, targeted ba ni sa mga kabatanunan, ma'am?
As I've mentioned earlier, as a consumer, daghan man halos kita tanan konsumante man gyud. So we have a big role for what they call this, for promoting sustainability. And this sustainability is not only targeted for the young generations. We as adults, we can start now, no, as a consuming public, to be conscious by using the 7 R's: rethink, reuse, implementing the 7 R's in the way we decide in purchasing our products and in consuming the goods that in our daily needs. So mao na unsa ka importante. So dili lang kay ang para sa mga batanon, we can start it now.
Any age? There's no age limit.
No age limit.
Okay. All right, thank you, PD. Now let's go to Engineer Ismael Larubis. Ang Environmental Sustainability Officer sa LaSalle University. Engineer, no, so many of our consumers, including myself, we just buy anything from the market without thinking of the environment. Is it important to think about the environment even if we are just buying something for ourselves? I mean, what are the usual products nga dangerous to the environment?
Okay, so good afternoon, Ms. Cham. Regarding that one, everyone is actually a part of taking care of our environment. And if you will be asking, even you as a buyer or even you as a consumer, should I be given that kind of responsibility to take care? The answer is really yes. Definitely yes. And to expound that one further, we know, all of us know that we are actually living in a common home. And everything that surrounds us is common to every one of us. We are breathing that same air in the environment. So just like for this case, if I have to share, last 2014, this one is regarding the unusual increase of the temperature in the globe, because the United Nations had found out that there is an unusual increase of the temperature around our Earth, even though that they are already banning the use of the CFC because the CFC can actually kanabitong iyang ipa-aggravate ang buhok sa ozone layer, causing a lot of heat towards our Earth. Now, in 2015, they have found out that there is this one country only in the whole Earth that we have that is still making use of CFC. It was banned in the Montreal Protocol around 1990s, but this country cannot really kanang di siya kapugong nga dili mo gamit aning CFC. So by 2015 they found out that instead that we should slowly have an increase in the temperature that we have. In 2015 there is what we call as a drastic change of temperature. And that is why the United Nations did say that this is abnormal. So imagine that one. Only one country out of the many countries that we have on Earth is doing that one, but that one is affecting everyone. So what you are doing, even if you are buying, if what you are buying can actually harm the environment, then that one can also harm the others.
Very good point. We live in a shared home.
Community.
That's correct. Thank you, sir, for that. You mentioned about katong isa ka countries na affecting everybody. What is the state of our environment, or what is the state of Earth right now? Can we still live in the next 20 years nga healthy and we're still alive, or do we still have a livable Earth in the next 50 years?
Okay, so maybe I can answer that one in 2 points. The first point has something to do with the current temperature that we have. And the second point has something to do with the current resource that we have. So maybe we'll start with the first point regarding the current temperature that we have at this time. So 2022, as per declared by the NASA, they have found out that since the baseline temperature in 1980s, they found out an increase of 0.9 or 0.86 to 0.9 degrees Celsius of the Earth temperature. So, and yun po, so it's getting hotter. And the past 10 years that we have is actually the hottest portion among all the decades starting from the 18th centuries. So imagine that one, that we have this community that is already getting warmer. All of us, I think, at this room, we're already around 30 and above. So, kasagaran siguro nato mga hamtong na diari. And I think every one of us in here knew that this is not really the temperature that we are living when we are born. We used to play outside, but this is not the temperature we are living at. So, that's the first point. We're actually getting warmer. So, the question is, what's with the temperature? What's with the increase of the temperature? Why should I should take care or take it into consideration in my living? The point is, all the human can actually adapt from it. Ikaw, ako, so every one of us in this room can actually adapt for that one. We have air conditioning units, so therefore we can cool ourselves. But there are those aspects in the environment that we have that can adapt, but adaptation will create harm to our environment. Just like, for example, the dengue case. The dengue case that we have is actually towards the low-lying areas. It's not going to the upland. Wala kayo na dengue sa upper portion sa bukid. But because of what they called as adaptation, every organism that we have in the surrounding will really tend to adapt in order to live. Therefore, they have to go up so that they can adapt for the environment or any changes of the temperature. And this is now what is happening. There are what we call as rising different species of dengue virus. It's not only dengue 1, it's not only dengue 2, we have 3, we have 4. So, just like the COVID, once you have in that environment, they tend to adapt. So the adaptation of each and every organism is actually a big factor with respect to the change in temperature. The second point. The second point can be raised towards the resources that we have. I have a professor last 2003. I did graduate in 2005 during my bachelor degree as a chemical engineering in MSU IIT. So this one professor did say, by 2050, we will be depleting our fossil fuels. So that's his inclination. He keep on talking about it. And it's not only that professor that I have who has that idea. When you try to scan articles now, most of the scientists did say that we are running out of fossil fuels. Point, there are three classes of fossil fuels. The first one is the natural gas. The one that we use in LPG, that one is a natural gas. According to one of the scientists, that natural gas that we have will deplete by around 2060. That's one. The other one is the one that we commonly use as a fuel to our cars. So the gasoline, the kerosene, those actually are part of what you've called as petroleum. And based from the analysis of the scientists, it will deplete by 2053. So there is an early depletion of fossil fuel. And the last one, the one that we have powered to our coal-fired power plant. So you call that one as coal. So if we have the one in Kauswagan, the GN power plant, that one is powered by coal. If we have the Kiji in Panaon, that one is also powered by coal. And based from the analysis of the scientists, it will deplete by 2070. So 2023 at this moment, the earliest to deplete is 2053. Maybe at this time you cannot feel, okay, maybe we can adapt someday. But remember, those fossil fuels that I mentioned to you are actually what we call as precious resources. That are the resources where we derive the medicines. That are the resources that we derive our common basic necessities in life. So, point is, if we cannot take care of this, what we call as depleting resources, then tendency is it will never sustain the next generation. So, just 2 points. Ang dami pa pong points that we can share. But for this limited period of time, those 2 main points can actually a factor why we should have this awareness towards our consumer. That's the current status of Earth at this time.
All right. Thank you so much, Engineer. Yeah. Na ano may na inform me. Again, thank you so much. What is the result? You mentioned pila na lang kay years na we're getting, among atong resources, the precious resources will be depleted. But what is the result if we do not care of our environment, if we don't start now? And what are the small steps we can do as consumers to protect the environment or care for Mother Earth?
Okay, maybe I can start with the first question po, regarding
What's the result?
What's the result? So, that one, earlier I did mention it already that if there will be an increase in temperature, there is a need to adapt. And it is not only us who will adapt, but also the organisms that we have in our surrounding. And also, for the case of Misamis Occidental, I think if you will have a flight and then you will have an aerial view of how Misamis Occidental looks like, if you will have a flight at around 1 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the afternoon going to Manila and you will try to look at the aerial view of our MISO, you will really find out that the river banks that we have in the major river are already eroded. I'm not saying that it is mainly caused by man-made activities, but even the upstream, it was already eroded. Because when there is a big rain, climate change is already happening. So when you say climate change, there is what you call as a huge amount of rain at this point, and then you have the high heat, you have the low heat, the colder temperature. So what happened is that in Misamis Occidental, with that volume of water that was received by our Mount Malindang, it tends to erode the river banks. So if you will try to have an aerial view, yung talagang major river bank ng mga rivers natin, they are really eroded. That is why I came to realize to myself that my late times as a college student, so that one is 2005, today is 2023, 2005, it's still a very good river. We have a very good Labo River. And one of the interviewees that we have when I came to interview some of the residents nearby the Mulikay Labo River that we have, the river in the Labo is actually can be passed by balsa. So in other words, that one is still deep and not that wide. So medyo naulahi lang gamay, no, na medyo wala kayo na aware ang tao that there is a need to plant along the river banks. The continuous erosion in the river banks tend to widen the river at this time. So that is one of the common cause, if in case that we just have ourselves be less aware of regarding what to do with respect to the environment. That's one. And further, to the second point, this one is happening in Clarin. Last 2021, I was, 2022, not 2021, 2022, that one is April. I was called by the DNR asking to retrieve a turtle. So every one of us would view that the turtle is just the one that we can pet in our household. So small turtle that we have, but it's not small. It weighs around 30 to 40 kilograms. That's big enough. I think that one is already covering a length of around 60 centimeters in length and around 40 centimeters in width. And imagine that one, it's floating in Misamis Occidental, but when we arrive in there, when we retrieve in there, it was already dead. And there were two of them. The other one is also a very big turtle. So I don't have the projector at this time, but if you allow me to share those research that we have conducted, we can actually share those data for everyone to be aware at this time. Now, regarding the first one that we have retrieved, when we get the turtle, that one is around 9 to 10 o'clock in the morning, and then we do the post-mortem analysis in La Salle University, Usamis. So, right after that one, we conduct the post-mortem analysis together with my colleagues, the biologists that we have, and the zoologists that we have. So, we ended up around 9 o'clock in the evening, finishing the post-mortem analysis. We started with the carapace, and then we started with the head, going to the esophagus, intestine, and so on and so forth. To the last point, the last one is actually the gut. Kanang gitawag nato nga kanang nanadapit sa atong dagkong tinai, kanang padulungay na mugawas ang ato ang mga tai, kanang fecal matters nato. There, around 8 o'clock in the evening, when we try to get the fecal matter, and then we try to spread out the fecal matter, because we have to analyze the fecal matter, we found out a lot of plastics. So, point is, those plastics are actually coming from wrappers. So, food wrappers, Ma'am Luz. And those plastic are actually coming from debris of some material. So, medyo sayangan ko sa turtle. The turtle is already quite big. So, and mas nasayangan ko atong isa pa jud that is also bigger than the other one. So, our point is, if we are not aware if all of the consumer in here are not aware on how to properly dispose those plastics that we have right after eating or consuming them, I think that one will really harm our next generation. So that's my point. 2 points that I can share to you. And by the way, early also last March 2023, Clarine is once again calling me to retrieve the juvenile eagle. So the same manner, it was dead on arrival upon the school when we received that eagle.
All right. Thank you for that, engineer. We actually mautanang unta ko. What happens kasi, I mean, these are animals. What is the connection of these animals to us humans? If they, like for example, mamatay sila din ha. So, what's the connection nila sa to? I mean, is that something that we should be like
Yes.
mahadlok or?
Okay. So every one of us are actually interconnected.
Okay.
You and the environment is actually interconnected. So just imagine that one that we have the so-called food chain. Okay? So we have the producers, and then we have the consumers, and we also have the decomposer. So there are those organisms that that lives in order to provide food to us. And there are those organisms that actually live in order for us to decompose or to decompose easily what is being bring forth to the environment. Now, the interconnectedness is very important, and I hope everyone is aware of the 1987 Constitution, Article 2, Section 6. And that one is always highlighted in each and every ecologist and in every environmentalist po. And I hope everyone must know that we have a right for a healthy and balanced ecology in accord with the rhythm and harmony of nature. That one is a part of our Constitution. Everyone deserves to have a healthy ecology because they believed that what you do can actually affect the other. And if in case the other will be depleted, tendency is it might happen that other organisms cannot live because this one is already out.
All right. Thank you for that, sir. Yeah. Well explained. Thank you for that, sir. And now we go to Ma'am Tess Alcampado, Head of our Consumer Protection Division of DTI Misamis Occidental. So let's go back to the consumers. Ma'am, can you share to us, siguro no, what are the services of DTI MISOC in relation to consumer protection? And can they come to your office sa mga naireklamo regarding products, ng ilang napalit?
Okay, so good afternoon. Na-overwhelm ko sa explanation ni Engineer. It made me think and rethink 1 hour of the Gen S. So, bitaw no? Guys, are you with us? Are you with... O, di ba? Parang naanak ko. Oh my God. Di ba? Oh, so, back to consumer. Okay, for DTI Misamis Occidental, we have so many, plenty actually, DTI services in relation to consumer protection. Kung gisuwat kay, basig na ako'y malimtan. Okay. Actually, number 1, we have this market monitoring and enforcement for sa tanan nga mandatory products. Sample sa mga mandatory products, we have electricals, construction materials, so appliances, those are samples of mandatory products. We do monitoring and enforcement, market monitoring twice a month, province-wide. Why will we do this? Because to assure nga tanan nga product na available in the market are certified nya sa, by the way, si DTI, we are into markings. We are not technically capable nga usahay makadala pud mi og kanang caliper, no? Nga makakita mi sa unsa siya kabag-on. But almost always when we do monitoring, we are into looking at the markings of the products. What are these markings? Kabalo naman tano, for locally produced, we have PS mark, o katong product standard mark, nga katong murag globe. And of imported, we have ICC or import commodity clearance. So, kana siya twice a month, province-wide, ginatuyukan yun nato ang tanang tindahan nga rin sa Misamis Occidental. Also, we also have this price and supply monitoring for basic needs and prime commodities. Kani siya, by the way, si DTI is naami produkto nga under sa DTI. Okay? So I know niya na adyo mga question nga dili dili under sa DTI, but we also do like kung naami order, una-unahon lang nako, just like what happened atong red onion, our secretary naghatag og order sa amoa to augment the monitoring of price and supply in the area kay kanang naang for the Department of Agriculture. Agricultural products is with the Department of Agriculture. Unsa may kang DTI. So katong canned sardines, milk, and so on. Katong manufactured nga products. Okay? So supply and price monitoring. That's monthly. Okay? Province-wide gihapon na siya. Now we also have this consumer education. As far as barangay nga among masudlan o mga eskwelahan nga among makandakan, naami aning gitawag nato og consumer rights and responsibilities, amo ning ipahatod aron mo taas ma-increase ang awareness sa tanang konsumante. We also do retailers forum sa tanan nga mga negosyante. Now, aron maprotektaan gyud ang katungod sa matag konsumante. Now, we have this Bagwis program wherein this one is we will acknowledge and commend business establishments nga nagsunod sa mga trade and industry laws. So, every October, karon kay Oktubre naman sad, no? Morning ni kick off nato ni siya nga activity kaganinang buntag motorcade nya karon press con naatay awarding. And nagpaabot mi sa final listing nga na-nominee for Misamis Occidental. And this will be done in Cagayan de Oro City. That will be last week of October. Okay? Also, katong giingon ni Ma'am Jam, nga katong naay mga complaints, we do redress of consumer complaints, no? Kay actually that is one of the right to redress. So kung kinsa nga konsumante makapalit og defective nga products og maka-avail og makahiagom og dili maayong serbisyo, under sa DTI we do mediation. By the way, there is a province mediation man siya. Kung dili ma-resolve, that will be the time i-elevate na mo sa region for adjudication. So tanang complaints diha, bring it on. Also, licensing and accreditation. By the way, business name is one of the front line. Pero starting August 1, 2023, gipa kuan sa among gilons sa among secretary nga 100% online na for new renewal certification. On certification, yes. Ang nahibilin lang is upgrading and cancellation. But daghan kaayo tang mga kanang negosyante nga dili walay internet, dili teke, dili magpa-assist gihapon sa kaning ni ang opisina. So, why licensing? Business name is one of the prerequisite to establish a business. So, ang mahitabo, madto sila sa office aron mahimo silang legit. After which, they will go to the LGU for business permit. Okay? Accreditation pod by the way, is for the service and repair shop. So those are basic services that we have for the consumer protection and interest of the consumer, Ma'am Jan.
Alright, thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, tama ba nga quote? Consumers or customers are always right?
Okay. Kana siya gyud no, kana ni siyang the most abused statement. Okay? That is often misunderstood nga praise. Customers is always right. Philosophy suggests and business should prioritize customer satisfaction above all else and do everything in their power to ensure that their customers are happy and satisfied. Now, kana po siya, as I've said earlier, that is often misunderstood. Kung naamanggoy katungod si consumer, nasa siya responsibilidad. Okay? So, we have 8 basic consumer rights. But along that rights, come also 5 responsibility. So, kung si konsumante, example, siya ay nakaguba sa product, niya mo complain siya sa kuan. So, in your case, sa inyong tanaw, right pa kaya si consumer? Okay? So, dili gyud siya sweeping statement. So, naa siya, although si business establishment, mao gyud na ilang priority to cater kaning quality service to all consumers. Pero ang si konsumante na sad, in a bad light, nga murag mo abot sa point nga opportunista na sad kayang dating, I don't think so. Generally, dili gyud siya nga customer is always right. If you have this right, you have also the responsibility. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you for that, ma'am. And last question before we go to the media for their questions. Ma'am, can you share to us various activities, mga highlights niyo for Consumer Welfare Month here sa probinsya, and what can Misa Misnons expect from DTI?
Naapod ko'y listahan, anak. Kainyag na ako'y malimtan. Well, for that, okay. So, ang list of activities na mo is, by the way, Consumer Welfare Month celebration is naka-anchored siya sa Presidential Proclamation 1098. The late President Ramos mo pa'y nagkuhan ato, September 26, 1997. Niya gi-proclaim mo. Panaribok, supersede mo ng every year of October, gina-celebrate yun si Consumer Welfare Month. And DTI nationwide is naami naka-line up nga mga activities. For DTI Misamis Occidental, opening salvo na to kaganinang buntag is motorcade, joined by ubay-ubay ka establishments, and I would like to thank Attorney Andy Waminal, our good mayor, for allowing us to conduct here in Ozami City. Daghan kaayong ni participate. And amazing, na-feel na mo ni Ma'am Luz na overwhelmed me because na-adjud me, gitagaan jud me og nag-spearhead nga kaning police patrol. In every corner nga malabyan is naagyoy ka ng traffico man na siya, no? Nga kanang nga nag-facilitate for kanang nindot smooth ang ato ang pag-motorcade. And then, of course, this activity kaning ato ang palakayan sa MISOC or atong press conference for the CWM. Next, we have this coming Friday, we have Provincial Consumer Quiz for high school students. This will be for grades 9 and 10 and sa upat ka division diri sa Misamis Occidental. So 6 students per division due to budgetary constraints, if I may say. So this will be done in Oroquieta City on October 6, 2023. Also, you are also invited on October 10, na nabatay confirmation ani Ray, we have a seminar on new mandatory product standards. Bureau of Philippine Standards nag-issue siya na siya mga additional products to be included sa list sa mandatory products. And then, si plywood, nadalis na siya, nibalik na sad, along with ceramics. So, they will discuss the salient features, mga balaod about mandatory products. This will be on October 10 at Osami City. Ang among venue ani is amo pang i-arrange. Originally, this was scheduled virtual. Pero nakita gyud namo nga dili gyud maayo og virtual kay less ang interaction, no? So di kay ta makakuan. So, we also have this Cuento Caravan Fiesta Edition on October 11 to 13 at Oroquieta City. This activity has been institutionalized by LGU. Ila na include sa ilaang month-long celebration sa fiesta. And also, we collaborate with local government unit of Oroquieta for the Ascenso Run. First time silang magkandak ani sa Oroquieta LGU. So, by the way, ang ilang artista, ilang aktor ani si Matteo Guidicelli. So, na siya. So, Ma'am Juan, kabalo ko si Ma'am Juan, update na ani. So, I will be meeting with Sir Gian tomorrow for our collaboration. On October 15, that will be on October 15 in Oroquieta. On October 18, we have Downstream Oil Industry by DOE Forum Co-Monitoring and Inspection of LPG Establishments and Gasoline Station with the Department of Energy, Northern Mindanao in Osami City. We are still awaiting for the approval by the mayor, by the good mayor, para sa ikandak na to. So the DOE will be coming over to discuss about fuel kay CDTI. Fuel, by the way, is under the jurisdiction of the Department of Energy. So that will be on October 18. We intended to have this poster making contest on October 26. But we are still awaiting for the approval. Nangayo mi ani ni Governor Henry, our hardworking governor, kiningon man to siya nga makahatag siya premyo for, this will be for the students, 9, 10, and senior high actually. So, next week siguro makapagawas na mi og theme, along with that, i-incorporate na to sa 5Ms sa province. And then, Consumer Advocacy Generation Sustainable will be on October 27. Kabalo ko nga makurat si engineer kay siya among kuanan ni. karon pa siya na-inform. So, but I know Engineer Larubis is always okay yun na with DTI Misamis Occidental. Thank you, Engineer. Muna hindi ka balibad kay atubangan ko ninyo. O, di ba? O, so ana lang ang strategy. Now, for our culmination, we have memorandum of understanding signing with private organization to promote ethical business practices here in Osami City, but we're still awaiting for the approval by the good mayor sa ilaang kuan kay, you know, Osamis has been this ordinance na all activities must be endorsed and approved by the LGU for us to before we conduct. So, kanis siya tanan, mo ni naka-line up na mo. So, pero ang pinaka-importante anig, pinaka-highlight, usually ang highlight is na ulahin, no? Pero for myself, ang pinaka-highlight ani, this activity together with my BFFs. Thank you, Ma'am Jam.
Alright, thank you so much, Ma'am Tess, for that. So, we will watch out. We will take note of those. Better watch out, bitaw. Thank you, Ma'am Tess. So, this time, no, we will ask the media for their questions. Maybe isa lang a question and then one follow-up. We have our microphone here sa front. Yes, Sir Manny, and please state your name and your media outlet. So, hindi na ko memorize tanan here. So, Please state your name and your media outlet. Thank you so much. Sir Manny first.
Okay. Thank you, Ma'am Jam, sa tuwang provincial directors sa DTI, engineer, and Ma'am, BFF. No? Okay. Totoo naman nga kalabang gingusgan sa DTI no about sa environment sustainability no. The question no say kasiguruhan no, sa DTI nga gi-adapt ni labi na sa business and sa local government unit na batay naibawaan no sa labi na sa Misamis Occidental nga nagbugnag mga ordinances no aron nga kining in terms sa environmental sustainability no matuman yun siya no labi na sa business. So mangutana ta sa DTI na bata ni no labi na sa tuwa sa Misamis Occidental.
Yes, sir. Thank you kayo sa imuhang question. I think the different kaning cities and municipalities na sila yung mga ordinansa regarding sa paggamit sa dili na magamit og plastic sa atong mga businesses. That is one thing nga makatabang gyud for us to what they call this protect the environment. Another is we are campaigning buy local, no? So although dili pa tanan but since starting last year nag-campaign mi sa different municipalities and there are few municipalities karon nga nag-adapt na nga at least 10% ba sa ilang procurement dapat sa locally source nila para mabuhi ang ato ang mga gagmay nga negosyante, mga producers, no, before sila mopalit sa gawas or sa other provinces. Dapat within their locality ang ilahang procurement kay dako kay nag-ikatabang sa ato ang mga gagmay nga mga negosyante nga mo produce sa kanang ka-produce og products. Like for example, if the local government na sila'y meetings, no, dapat ang ilang ipatronize ang kanang snacks kintay kung like for example in a certain locality ga-produce sila og tabliya, dapat ang ipapainit niya sa mga bisita ang tabliya. Okay, isa na ka example. I think napatay sa other natong resource speakers kan napay naibalaan regarding the protection sa atong environment.
Okay, so at this point, the assurance to whether the sustainability is actually monitored and checked is not only a work of the DTI. This one is actually a collaborative effort because we have the local government unit with the different institutions. So just like for example for the SWEMO, earlier as what you have said, we have our local ordinance here in Oroquieta City concerning about the solid waste management that we have. And we also have that law or ordinance here in Oroquieta City concerning about the regulation of the plastics. You remember the every Saturday and Sunday and the 15th and the 30th. So the implementation of those policy can actually assure that this sustainable aspiration of the Department of Trade and Industry will be realized po. And then one key point that I have to share to you is that we have also an approved law, that's a Philippine national law concerning about the Extended Producer Act or Extended Producers Responsibility Act of 2022, wherein each and every major or large industries must be responsible of the waste that can be generated out from their product. So it's still unto its infancy at this time. So hoping that the national government can actually have a grip of that law so that for somehow we can sustain our efforts.
Okay, thank you. Gawa sa DTI na may mga daggading agencies nga partner nato. LaSalle University, nganong wala si DNR, importante po kayo si DNR.
In behalf of the DNR, I can represent the one. As also a member of the DNR PAMB, I am the member of the technical working group of the protected area of the management board po. So, and also we have a good agreement and MOA with the DNR, with LaSalle University po. We are actually one in our every action towards the implementation of the laws and bylaws here in Misamis Occidental.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Engineer. Okay, next question, sir.
Okay. Good afternoon. Dexter Manungkas from Best Channel. Ako ning address sa DTI. Mahitugod ni sa consumers protection. Ma'am, kung saan na to pagprotektar ang mga consumers sa pagtaas sa presyo karon sa mga commodities, ilabi na sa atong mga bugas?
Daghang salamat sa imong question, sir, no? Actually, ang rice is under na siya sa DA, but we started monitoring the prices katong pagsaka. Gi-appeal na mo. Kay ang DTI is under the Price Act, ang among jurisdiction is the basic needs and prime commodities, katong manufactured products. But then, starting as early as August, appeal sa amo og monitor, and we reported it sa regional and then to the national office. But then last August 31, President Bongbong Marcos signed the Executive Order number 39 mandating the price ceiling of rice. There are only two kinds of rice ang ginganlan dito. Ang regular milled rice o ang wheel milled rice. Ang gimandate niya dito, kung may mandato, so it's a balaod nga, dapat ang rice nga regular milled should be 41 per kilo, and then the other one is 45 per kilo. So we informed immediately receiving that executive order, kay ginganlan man dito, although ang rice is under sa DA, pero ginganlan dito sa executive order, DA and DTI. And DTI, ang role sa DTI is to mobilize all the price monitors to conduct price monitoring daily and price and supply monitoring. Gitan-aw namo ang mga presyo especially sa public market, sa mga micro rice retailers, kung pila ang ilang selling price. And when we notice permiro to mahal, but we consulted them like for example, I was in Oroquieta at that time, so we immediately consulted the mayor, and immediately after that, and the other also mayors in the province, we conducted sa Oroquieta, nauna namo ang katong Rice Retailers Forum. So gipaminaw namo ang ilahang side unsa, pero ang ila ng gi-inform po namo regarding sa mandato sa ato ang presidente. Niingon sila nga mahal gyud ang ilahang presyo, no, pagpalit. But we requested them, we informed them nga dapat ipaubos nato. That is why sa succeeding days nga amo ang pag-monitor, naana dayoy ni comply. We inspected together with the LGUs, ang staff, ang SIDO, ang the ILG, no. We conduct ang ilahang agricultural officer, no, to kanang pag-monitor sa price o sa supply, and then later on pila ka adlaw ni comply na gid sila, nanatay 41 o 45 per kilo nga rice. The other, ang excluded ana, kay basig ma-misinterpret, kadtong special o premium rice like Japonica, Sinanduming, Dinorado, glutinous rice, Basmati, Indian and Pakistani Basmati rice, mao ni gitawag nga na-categorize sila special or premium rice, which is wala siya nasakop sa executive order number 39. So makita nato na anay mga compliant gyud nato sa 41 o 45.
So kaning wala na cover mo ba ni katong mga imported rice?
Ang wala na appeal, sir, kasagaran imported o kanang special rice like Dinorado, Sinanduming, wala na siya. Princess Bia, I think, Mao na siya ang wala na appeal. Moingon ka og kanang regular milled rice, katutong ang broken niya is up to 40%. No? Dayon off-white ang iyang color. Ang regular wheel milled rice, ang wheel milled rice, kay regular man wheel milled, katutong 20% I think niya white ang iyang color. The rest ana kung dili siya like special kuan premium, magpadayon sila sa ilang presyo. So ikaw nga konsumante, aduna kay choice kung unsa imong paliton. Like kung ganahan jud ka atong sinanduming, wala siya na appeal sa atong executive order number 39. So dili na siya mapaubos nga mayong kag 41 or 45 per kilo.
Okay, ma'am. Unsay sanction labi na sa mga retailers nga gahig ulo?
Ga-monitor pa lang yun mi karon sir, but the PNP, ang atong PNP po, they have their directives also from the head office. They are also monitoring. Sa amo sir, this is the last recourse nga mag-enforce, but we're happy daghan ang nag-comply yun sa anak nga kuan. In the future, we don't know yet kung unsay kuan, but we continue monitoring. Kay we see it as temporary. We see it as temporary at this time because DA ang ingon sa per information ang sa DA dili pa I think karon kato nga time starting September 1 wala pa nag-harvest, but kung mo harvest na gani atong mga local farmers, that could bali mo increase ang supply, and also kung maabot ang mga imported nato nga rice, we are hoping nga i-lift ni President Bongbong Marcos ang executive order basta mo stabilize na siya. Kung mudaga na ato ang bugas kay nabitaw na sa economics, the law of supply and demand. Kung managhan na gyud ang supply, mo barato. But at this time, kung wala pa gi-lift, mapadayon gyud ang 41 o 45 per kilo.
Ma'am, unsa ano to pag-control kung wala tayo ihatag nga sanctions ngadto sa mga retailers?
Wala gyud tay price control. I think si Ma'am Marites Aniken.
May hapon, sir. Okay. Being the head of the Consumer Protection Division, kanang price control, manggod, sir, mahitabo lang na siya kung ang area, katong gingon ni Ma'am Luz, no, we do price monitoring, pero walay price control. Mahitabo lang nang naay price control kung kana nga area na siya automatic price control kung ang area gi-declare nga under the state of calamity, na ay gubat o kanang mga inana katong COVID, but the price control would only last for 60 days. Ano man, kay og ikaw po'y naas sa business sector nga i-control until kuan, you are kanang gi-deny nimo for legitimate profit. So ano man na siya, no, kanang we have to strike a balance. Okay? So we are ang gobyerno, o bisan kinsa man tingali, gatan-aw sa flight sa mga konsumante. But dili pod nga super duper lugi. Now, katong giingon ni Ma'am Luz nga AO39, nganong kampante mi nga kung naa lang sila'y supply nga katong regular o wheel milled, dapat 41 and 45 gyud to siya, sir. Okay? Si DTI, last gyud ni DTI kanang like sa kung mabasa ninyo ang AO39 ni Presidente, wala dito naka-stipulate nga na sanction. Okay, no? So, ang iyang gibutang dito, as long di pa niya malip, naagyud siya dapat katong regular o wheel milled nga 41, 45. But, unfortunately, kita og ganahan magito mo palit og mo kaon og Princess Bia kay lami, di ba? Kanon pa ulam na. O di ba kanang manginana kay katong gingon ni Ma'am Luz nga regular meal magtan-aw ka adto katuman to siyang off-white. So meaning dili puti, broken pagyod up to 40%. So medyo dugmok. O katong wheel milled ano siya, 20%, 10 to 20%, niya puti na. Now, going back to your kwan, unsaon man og walay sanction, bitaw, kay kung naibalaod, naagyod siya nakaakibat nga sanction. But, sa ako nang gikaingon sa ato pod stipulation nato sa Pressed Act, we can only kanang naang gitawag og sanction kung naa siya under the state of calamity, 60 days. For now, ang gihimo ni DTI and other agency mandated to do price monitoring, DILG, naman na sa EO 39 god, si DILG na siya po'y na siya iyang rule. Si DA, which is under niya ang RICE, si DTI, si PNP to assist the DTI and DA. Now, ang amo adjud sir is kaning ni ang murag DTI visibility kay like sa Oroquieta. I can say for Oroquieta kay ako mismo usakos nagmonitor one Saturday. No, na-adjud siya katong nga klase sa rice ginapaubos gyud nila. Now, kung nakita ninyo no sa kang governor nga FB na nahatagan pod kay gitan-aw sa government na katong affected micro rice retailers gitagaan siya economic relief subsidy. Ang gahatag po dato DSWD na sab based on the monitoring and the validation nga katong nag-comply. Okay? So, katong imo sir, mas maayo bitaw gyud og naisanksyon no. Kay og unsa ma-enforce. But si Ma'am Luz pa last resort gyud si enforcement. Especially katong karon wala pud siya naka-stipulate. Okay? So, ato since naata sa media, pwede man sad ta mo tuyok visibility. Pero unfortunately, we cannot enforce.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, good afternoon everybody. Siya Lugapol from Best Channel. Ma'am, akong lani nga ipaabot sa inyo ha. Kasagaran, pag matutag merkado or sa community, kaning nagisgot na pagsaka sa presyo sa mga palaliton, merkado, isdaan, karnihan, ubsagutanunan, maingon dayon si DTI, wala gyud makabantay sa pagsaka sa presyo sa mga palaliton. Ang siguro ako alang is ato ang mahatagan og klaro nga pagpasabot atong mga kaigsunan kung hangtod asa lang kutob ang cover sa DTI nga ilahang ma-monitor ang presyo or ilahang kanabitang maka-intervene mo sa presyohan.
Yes, ma'am. Sige gud mi anagakuan nga kanang kadaghan gyud kay manawag sa amo, mabusaka ng presyo or mo text nga tan-awan ninyo ni or nasa mga Facebook, but then we always also remind them nga ang among jurisdiction is the basic needs and prime commodities. Except kaning sa AEO 39 nga ginganlan ang DTI. Maybe because ang mga tao nakitaan pod nga we're visible no sa among mga price monitors, and even I'm thankful to the Consumer Protection Division nilang Ma'am Tess no kay even on Saturdays and Sundays halos kani karong sa rice nato nga kani sa AO 39 implementation from one end to the other end sa among sa kaning sa Misamis Occidental halos dili na mi maka everyday ga travel me to inform the local government units and to go around sa mga atong mga public markets and to inform the rice retailers, gakandak mi og mga rice retailers forum to inform them about this. The other thing is kana ra gyud taman mi sa basic needs and prime commodities, but then dili malikayan nga usahay na ipa-appeal sa head office nga ipa-appeal og monitor. Thank you.
Puno ko affected kaayo kay sa FB during the pandemic itag yun ako ngan at Marites Alcambado alcohol, face mask that is with the Department of Health. Tingali ma'am, because makita nato sa national ang among secretary moadto sa merkado. Okay? Si Secretary Secmon. Wa pa ko kita ni among bagong secretary rog ni Soroy Mercado. Katong sa una pa nga mga secretary, gikan ni Secretary Jocon, Secmon, ni Pabila, Marohas, Mr. Palingki pa jud siya. So, ang aning nakita sa katawhan, TV, social media, si Secretary sa DTI, maatos karnihan, maatos kanang manukan, maatos sa isdaan, prutasan. Why? Because Republic Act 7581 under its implementing rules and regulation, kaning National Price Coordinating Council is the chair is our secretary. Under lang niya tong mga secretary sa agriculture, DOH, DNR, and so on. But pag abot ng good dire, kung makita nato, padayo nato basa ang balaod, Republic Act 7394, Consumer Act of the Philippines, daghang implementing agency ani nga balaod. Abot ka diri sa ubos, ang chair sa Local Price Coordinating Council, kung sa probinsya ang governor, kung sa mga city or municipalities ang mga mayors, vice chair si DTI. And stipulated dito sa maong balaod nga kung ang katunggingon ni ma'am, manufactured products, DTI, agricultural products is with the Department of Agriculture. Forest-based, DNR. Food, cosmetics, and drugs are with DOH. Kaning ni ang kanabitang sa Securities and Exchange Commission, kanang mga pareha atong mga aman-aman, no? So, mga inana, no? So, it's with SEC. And kaning mga financial institution is with Bangko Sentral. So, dili na mabulag sa, especially social media is very, very so powerful gid ang social media. Then, mag-viral ra ba dayon, no? To na dayon, sige buhat ni DTI, kapabugnaw sa opisina, way gimo, taas kaayo ang bugas, ang kuan. And to think, tanan nga ilang iyaw is agricultural products. Now, si DTI maka-act man gihapon, but with the Local Price Coordinating Council nga i-convene sa mayor. Naa dito ang kato si agriculture, which is siya man ang head, siya may lead agency dito. Dili lang, naagihapon si DTI. Pero dili pod as in super duper mo encroach. We can act as a council. So mo gyud na ma'am, tabangi mig pasabot mga BFF nga kani siya naatay jurisdiction. So dili man ta pwede mo, but we can still act on whatever the complaints, kay we can endorsement to the proper agency. Salamat po.
Good afternoon. Si Joanne Antasuda ko sa Oroquieta Community Channel. Ma'am, every year nag-celebrate sa Consumers Welfare Month. Dayon, ang atong pangutana mostly same ra gyud. Then ang atong mga retailers mulusot gyud na sila pud sa ilaha nga ang ilahang mga gipangbaligya para karon example sa bugas nanay gitungtong dito 41, 45. Dayon ilang ilusot ang ilahang bugas, ilang ibutang og premium basta kay dili ibutang nila og well-milled kay basta malusutan nila ang price. Pag-abot pod sa mga online na ay daghan nga mga scam. Unsay mga tips nga mahatagan sa natog idea ang atong mga consumer nga makakuan sila sa ilang makaprotect sila sa ilang kagalingon gikan sa mga nag-take advantage sa mga consumers.
Ihatag yun ni Ma'am Los nako. No, every October pod, maupod yun ni siya nga pangutana. Again and again. So, for the online, no, daghang kay scam. So, na ganino, itong kauban diri, mag-order, ang mabot, dili mao. Okay? So, naana. Ang tip lang yun na mo sa mga online, before you come mo purchase, before you click, think 100 times before you. Una, tanawon yun ninyo kung mas maayo, ari mo purchase, ari mo online shopping sa legit nga platform. Nga naman, kay kung nakay complaint, pwede nato siya ma-mediate. Now, og mopalit lang ka sa Facebook, ang account niya, di pa gyud insakto nga ngan. May para akong Facebook, kaya ako maritis sa kampado jud. Naibali-balihon angan. So, next thing you know, inigbook ni mo nag-order, mawagtang na kung scammer siya. Now, so ang amo lang yun anang balik-balikon nga make sure nga legit ang imo ang katransak. When we say legit, na siya business name, na siya business permit, although napaman di pamangganig yung kakasiguro no kay bright biya gyud kung gusto maraming paraan, di ba? So, but then kana pa lang kabalo na kakinsa imong katransak, no? So dili jud ka ayaw mag-mindset gyud ka one step ahead ka ngadto sa katong inyong gipalitan. So with that, kung kabalo kag kinsa imong katransak, next thing you know, kung nakay problema, siyang i-deliver, kabalo kag kinsa imong i-complain. Kay I have received complaints po nga inana maglisod jud kog trace. No? So, iduso na lang nako sa EDG. Kaya basig na sila link. No, kay for us, kung sa may amo, per database, tanaw na mo ang business name. Kung registered siya, naa dito ang details. Business address, kanang owner's address, contact numbers. So, pwede na to siya makontak. Kung wala, Facebook lang, dili gyud siya makakuan. So, meaning, and also, kaanjo ka, di ba ingon ko kaganina, kung naatay right, naapotay responsibility. One responsibility is critical awareness. That's number one. So you have to think, you have to analyze, kung sa mani, sakto ba ka ni nga product? Is the quality okay? Competitive ba ang price? Insakto ba ni ako nga transact? So, you have to be critically aware before purchasing kay hard-earned ba na itong kwarta, no? Huwag mo na, gipamulot na to. Okay? So, kana lang. Kuan yun. Number 2 responsibility is action. So, kung nagkuan ka nga, na-scam ka, go to the proper agency which has kanang jurisdiction on the product that you bought. So, inana lang siya. So, kung makuha na to na and never patronize anang medyo kanang dubious nga mga accounts diha. So, lisod na. Maglisod jud ta og maglisod tag trace. So, una sa tanan 100 times, 1,000 times before you click. So, in that way, kuan. And the best protected consumer is a well-informed consumers. So, dapat makikimarites in good way. So, mo lang na siya, Ma'am Jo. Salamat.
Okay. Mayong hapon, Ma'am, no? Kani nga pangutana ako na ipakuha ni Ma'am Luz Galda, kailan mo ni Ma'am Luz na ako. Ma'am, kani nga akong pangutana, Ma'am. Nagbunitor ba po mo sa presyo sa petroleum dinhi sa Misamis Occidental? Kay sa Rasayra nato, ang Osami City, mas mahal ang petroleum, i-compare na to dito sa Zamboanga del Norte, Zamboanga del Sur, o ingon man po sa Lanao del Norte. Kini nga problema, ma'am, mo ni gingon nga last year man tayo katong diri ang taga Davao, among gipaabot. Dayon ang nahitabo, og sa kuan pa mura natulog sa lingkuranan, wa gyud mi nakatagamtam o presyo nga ubos ang petroleum dinhi sa Misamis Occidental, ilabi na sa Osami City. Unsay imong reaksyon ani, ma'am?
Actually, ang fuel is deregulated na siya. Deregulated na siya. So ang prices karon ay kuan na ni siya, result of the market forces. So wala na tay regulation regarding sa kana bitang what they call this kana ang pump price sa kaning tawag ani kung pila ilahang price sa gasoline. It's the market forces na ang gadula aning ni Asya. But anyway, kay nangutana gid mi ana nagpadala mi dito sa Davao. That is why karon gi-invite na namo ang kay nami mga analysis gipadala na katong sa provincial government na sila po'y monitoring sa kuan. Wala no. Sa gasoline. So, pero ang sa provincial government na ato sila staff nga na sila analysis among gipadala. Ang answer is market forces, but to satisfy us, we are inviting the DOA karong sa ato October 18. Muanhi sila. So, atong ikuan kay sila gyud ang makatubag anang naabat. Ako lay paybalo ang fuel is kanang deregulated na siya. Market forces ang gakuan sa price. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Sir, BFF mo na isa. Magkita na punta, sir. October 18. Kay niya na sad ang team sa Department of Energy. Yes. It will be in Ozamis. To be arranged lang ang schedule. Kanang ilang gitawag nga downstream and oil industry. Lagi kay katong imong giingon nga wa makatagamtam kay ang gusto mong gyud natong matagamtaman is kung dili man galing mo ubos at least at par saan ang imong giingon nga Lanao in Zamboanga. Why is it that Miss Ok higher gyud? So giingon lagi ni Ma'am Luz, market forces. So sa may force dere nga perti man sila ka-power ang ilang force, no? So, with that, reiterate na po gihapon nato na siyang issue karong October 18. And this early, gimbitar na muna mo. Okay? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Siguro magdugang og stasyonan diri sa Miss Ok para daghan market. Yes, sir.
Okay. Good afternoon sa tanan. Ma'am Luz, afternoon. John Paul Duhay Lungsod sa Katawan sa probinsya. Ma'am Luz, amo lang i-grab ang opportunity kay murag talagsa ra to makahimamat. And then ang among question, ma'am, kan lang. Kumusta ang support sa provincial government ni Governor Henry Waminal sa inyong departments kay kanang sige mig kakita sa social media with ni Ma'am Marites nga sige mo meeting ni Governor Henry Waminal, and then kumusta, ma'am, para maibawaan sa publiko? Thank you.
My sincerest gratitude to the honorable the hardworking Governor Henry S. Waminal. Very supportive ang atong provincial governor, ang atong amahan sa Misamis Occidental sa mga kalihukan sa DTI. Every time mag-approach ko, especially like for example, ang pinaka-latest gyud nato katong sa mga rice retailers, micro rice retailers, September 28 ko niya gahangyo. Pero previous daghan na kaayong mga activities namo nga iya gyud ming gisuportaan. And also Mayor ND Waminal. The latest is katong sa September 28 kay kinahanglan gitagaan namig timeline nga dapat katubitang mga compliant sa 41 o 45 per kilo nga bugas nga syempre nakit-an man na nato nga kanang sa atong gobyerno nga magansi sila kay ang pagpalit nila sang ilang stocks is mahal. Nya gihangyo sa gobyerno na ceiling nga dapat ipamubo 41 o 45. So akong gistoryahan ang si Honorable Governor nga nakig-meeting ko niya, nanghangyo ko niya nga makig-meeting ko niya, and then so September 28 sa hapon nga Governor na atay compliant diri nga kuan. Ako gi-explain about kaning sa pag-monitor namo regarding sa AO39 ug natay mga micro rice retailers nga naapektuha kanang niubos so nakuan gyud na sila nagansi kay gipaubos man nila ilang presyo 41 o 45 kay mahal. Ipangutana gyud ko ni Governor pila ang ilang original nga price unta. So ni lower siya, and then so nakita na ko nga gob na may ihatag ang DSWD kami sa price monitoring o pag-validate sa kinsa ang compliant. So there are sa second man to nga payout 223 kabuok. So pagkabalo niya ningon din siya nga ko nga go pwede pa kung actually kanang pwede pa nangayo mig nakapangayo mig murag na extension up to October 6 pero ingon yun si governor ugma na para dili na mutdagan ang kagansi ba sa atong kuan matabangan dayon. So didto gi held sa Tudela no atong September 29. 28 man mi nagmeeting. Pagka 29 o kabalo ba mo ang nadawat sa gikan sa DSWD nga 15,000 kada micro rice retailers gipunan. It was a big surprise sa amo. Ako wala gyud ko kabalog kuan gi-announce niya dito gipunan niya og 6,075 pesos each micro rice retailer supporting lipaya sa atong mga gagmay nga negosyante og napagoy free nga food packs sa ato pa free lunch sila at that time. So grabe gyud ang kalipay kay gusto siya nga makatabang sa ato ang mga gagmay nga negosyante. Wala na gyud niya gipaabot og next week immediately. So kani even ang Consumer Welfare Month ug other activities namo sa DTI dako kay suporta ang ato ang gobernador. In fact, even ang katong kuan namo pod nag MSME forum no after adto daghan kay siya gitabang sa ato ang mga gagmay nga negosyante. So dako kay mig pasalamat sa ato ang gobernador.
Okay, mong follow up lang. Unsay tan-aw nimo for the next years kung ang ato ang provincial government ingon ani ka supportive sa inyong buhatan?
Yes, maangkon gyud nato sa 5Ms. We were asked by sa katong isa in one of the first meeting, katong sa first meeting namo with the governor, asa mo ani sa 5Ms na ami sa Malambuon. So kung magpadayon ang suporta kung yun ani nga actually yun ani gyud ka supportive na gyud si governor mo mapadayon ma-achieve nato ang pagka Malambuon. Kay kami naaman mi nag-assist sa consumer, kami sa business sector, at the same time sa consumer. So, ma-achieve nato ang asenso Misamis Occidental, anchored on sa isa ka M din ha nga magmalambuon. Kay ato ang magagmay nga negosyante, dako siyang matabang o dako na po siyang natabang daan. Kung magpadayon, mas daghan pa siyang matabang sa atong mga gagmay nga negosyante.
Okay, Val Cabrera ma'am from Trimedia Digital. Unsay moves sa DTI, especially kaning or plan to address sa issues bitaw related sa product labeling, greenwashing, kining false claiming sa mga produkto. At the same time, doon na ba yung mga kining bag-o nga palisiya o regulations nga angay mahibawan in relation sa consumer welfare and sustainability?
Ako muna, basig napat si Ma'am Marites na pa'y maad, no? But sa, natay gitawag og mandatory labeling requirements. Mo nang every now and then, part sa amo ang mga seminars, gakandak mi in different municipalities, kuha namo, gi-educate namo sila, kani atong mga small producers, nga dapat, sa food na ha, na ay mandatory labeling requirements like the brand name, expiry date, unsaon pag-state dito sa product of the Philippines. Amo silang gi-educate o unsaon pag-state sa ingredients. Amo na silang gi-educate anang namo ng hinay-hinay nga di magyud dayon madiretso but hinay-hinay ang atong mga assisted nga mga MSMEs, mga food producers. Nakuha na sila na hinay-hinay na og change ang ilang label na aside nga na enhance ilang label na tarong na kung unsay mandatory ni comply na sila sa mandatory labeling requirements.
So good afternoon everyone. By the way, my name is Migs Nunez of GSFM 89.7. To Sir Lagubis, Sir, kanang tungod sa mong pagka-nindot sa pagpasabot kaniya about this drastic and dramatic change of this climate, naka-create na nung daghang pangutana sa una-una, no? Sir, you mentioned a while ago ang chlorofluorocarbon or CFC, dayon, na-mention po nimo kaganiya ang katong kibali for many years nga muabot, no? makunhod ang mga fossil fuels. Sir, isip mga konsumante, aha kami ani mo lugar kay ako personally. Kaganiha before you explain kung nalipay yung ako kay may kapud kay wala na mga unsa na carbon emissions puhon kay wala na may fossil fuel or most probably makunod. Pero sir, isip konsumante, aha kami mo lugar kani malipay ba mi or mag-uol ba mi kay mausap ang mukuan mi kanang asa kami wadap na pud mi sa unsa na imong gamiton isip fuel sir.
Okay, so hulugar no. Kuan kanang the main point of sustainability is actually to meet the current needs that we have today. So kanang bitong sustainable na kung imong makapabuhi kag usa ka tawo karon ug dili makompromiso ang umaabot. Ana man ang concept sa sustainability. Now, regarding the use of CFC, say for example, katubitang mga freon sa ato ang mga old nga refrigerator. So, as a consumer at this time, or even as a producer, noting nga nanaslay background nga ang CFC makadaot jud. So, bisag mahal-mahal ang mga ato mga ref karon, bisag mahal ang mga ref, they really go towards that particular aspect, just not to compromise the next generation. Kana itong mga ref karon kay nag-convert na sila, wala na na CFC, nakabutang na dito mga CFC free. Though at this time, kanang mga ref nato karon mas mahal na kaysa kaniadto. So we have to adapt for that one, for the sake nga ang atuang umaabot, mas ma-okay pa or matagamtaman pa nila ang kanindot nga atong nasinati karon. So mao na nga aspect. And then, katong regarding sa usa ka country bitaw na ang giingon, ang nahitabo man gud ato is naay gitawag nga alternative nga gihatag ang United Nation. Pero pag abot nila sa production, dako man kay sila og lugi. So tungod kay dako kay sa lugi, paggamit niya atong nga produkto, ang nahitabo is mingbalik jud sa atong CFC. Kay sa CFC, mas dako man sa og kita. So mao nang gibalik na sa pagpasabot sa UN nga kinahanglan dili mo patronize aning product tungod kay makadaot ni para sa umaabot. So to the main thought of your main answer for the point that you are raising, kaning sustainability, it does not just matter about the price, but we have to consider also the effect to the environment. It will not vice versa po ya. It will not just matter to the environment, but it will also take into consideration the economic value or state that it can give. Kay lisod pod nga mo take care ka sa environment pero wala kay gikaon, dili na sustainable. Lisod pod nga barato ang presyo pero nakadaot sa environment, dili na sustainable. Okay.
Very quickly. Actually, ang ikatulong responsibility sa consumer is social concern. So, critical awareness, social concern, action, social concern, environmental awareness, and solidarity. That's the 5 responsibility. So, nalangkog to, katong giingon engineer, katong social concern, unsay impact sa imong consumption towards sa other kaning mga konsumante, towards sa imong community, local, national, or international. So, mo na responsibilidad sa nato, sir. Thank you.
Alright. Just in connection, I know hapon na, sorry guys, pero just in connection, sir, baka tong sa fossil fuel, bitaw nga question ni sir. Like right now, we are into solar, we are into even cars na,
Yes.
di ba? Solar power na. Is that going to be like a more sustainable
Opo.
option?
By October 18, you can also talk more with the Department of Energy for that case. And then regarding also to the as a support to what Ma'am Luz on what DTI had done for the consumers, they keep on having this kind of seminar about green growth, wherein they talk about the use of renewable energy as an alternative of fossil fuel-based nga mga energy. the renewable energy is more sustainable than the fossil fuel. And we have already the roadmap for that usage of renewable energy that by 2040, the Philippine grid should be about 50% renewable.
Right now, it's
Yes po.
pila ang atong percent.
I feel that one is less than 10 po.
Ang renewable. We
Yes
are
po.
more, unsa kita coal?
We are more on the coal and fossil fuel.
Coal and fossil.
Petroleum. Coal and petroleum.
Okay. Alright, thank you, sir. So, any more questions ato media friends?
Pwede ba?
Pwede, one last na lang, sir. One last. Yes, sir.
Okay. Duha mo tayo, usa na lang. Okay. Kaning ako lang ipaklaro, ma'am. Kani bang is it the principle of the law and supply, the law of supply and demand ang hinungdan sa kalit nga pagtaas sa ato ang presyo karon sa bugas or naalay nag-hoarding ani?
So far, diri sir, I think kung nakita ninyong news murag dito na daw sa Luzon. But here in Misamis Occidental, wala mi nakuan po, sir. Kay katong sa Oroquieta nga nag-inspect good me, and also bisan diri sa kuan kay atong mga price monitors nagtan-aw man gyud sa supply sa ato ang price and supply sa ato ang bugas. Walay gahord naa gyud siya. Ang kuan lang is kaning regular milled rice, wala kaayo na siya tungod kay wala pa kay local rice man na siya, wala kaayo'y supply pa. Oo. Bao to akong giingon nga kung nanay harvest, no, it could be possible nga mugawas na ng kaning kuan local rice, then may mong kaning regular kaning gitawag nato maapil kaning regular milled rice, kumudaghan siya mo ubos na ang presyo. Kay so far karon mahal-mahal gyud ang ilang kay wala gyud pod kaayo. Gamay ra kayo sa among gi-monitor karon, gamay ra kayo ang micro rice retailers nagbaligya og regular milled rice. Naa ang 45 katong wheel milled rice. Okay? Mo na siya. So we're hoping nga kung mag-harvest na gyud, no, managhan na ato ang bugas. And then maybe mo barato. So wala pa gi-lift ni President Bongbong Marcos, but we're hoping na temporarily ma-lift na niya.
Alright, thank you so much. Daghan atong natakol for today's Media Forum on Consumer Welfare Month with DTI Misamis Occidental. This has inspired us not just to be responsible consumers, but to have environment in mind. Will this hurt the environment? Will this add to the pollution? So we find ways around Mother Earth will still live for many years to come for our children. Dako to pasalamat sa Department of Trade and Industry Misamis Occidental for raising this special episode sa Let's Talk Miss Oc. And of course, atong engineer no from LaSalle University. And of course, atong media friends are here with us. Before to mag-end, maybe nalagi closing message, gamay nga message si PD Luz sa ato ang mga consumers sa Misamis Occidental. Maybe you have short but sweet message for everybody.
Okay, sa atong mga konsumante karon, we're celebrating this Consumer Welfare Month sa October. No, so we have lined up different activities for the information of our consumers. So we hope nga maka-attenta sa ato ang for consumer awareness. No, be active as and be a responsible consumer. Thank you and good afternoon.
Alright, Let's Talk Miss Oc is a monthly avenue for discussion about Misamis Occidental. So see you next month. Sa ngalan sa among Regional Director, Franklin Gumapon, kini si Jam Rucat, kauban si Zenner Dumaging, and Clark Cabantan of the Philippine Information Agency Misamis Occidental. And of course, sa mga taga Misamis noon watching right now sa itong live, hantod sa sunod nga edisyon sa Let's Talk